Jeff, how's the team looking on Wednesday?
We were much better today than we were yesterday. So that was a really positive sign. We were okay yesterday. You could tell we were still stung a little bit from Saturday, but we were much better today. You know, it's 9/11. We went over that today and gave a couple of examples of, you know, a man that was on one of those hijacked planes and called his wife and told her everything was going to be okay, but it was not going to end good for him. And you know, we've been talking about, you know, E plus R equals O, and that's the event, your response, and then the outcome, right? So the event was, that dude was in a worse situation than we are right now, but man, his response was unbelievable, which gave him an unbelievable, as good an outcome as possible for his wife, right? So that just shows you that it could be way worse. And we had an event Saturday, and what's our response going to be? And because whatever that response is will determine what the outcome of our season is going to be.
Jeff, to that point, typically in your tenure here, your teams have responded really well to tough losses and bounced back in the next game. What is it that leads to that resiliency, or how do you tap into that part of it?
We talked about that today. Every school's got good players. Everybody's got pretty good coaches. You know, I know right now our staff's not considered to be good. I totally understand that. It's very fair. What separates the programs is just a like and a love and a respect for each other mutually, that we're all going to be honest with each other, and it might not be what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. It's like parenting, and our kids believe us, and we just keep getting better. It's corny, but we just keep getting better. And in about 2 or 3 weeks, you know, most of the teams will go away and start checking boxes, and we just got to keep getting better a little bit every day. And if we can, and not have injuries, we'll be okay. Now, we never have had to come back. You know, we've had, in my opinion, 4 losses where we just got the crud kicked out of us. And we came back and won all 4 of those games the very next week, but we never have had the University of Texas the very next week. So it's probably going to be a little different grading scale this weekend. Anything is possible in any game. They'll have to help us quite a bit for us to have a chance.
Jeff, what is your health status of the team overall at this point?
You know, it hasn't been good, you know, for a long time. We've been playing without a lot of players since the beginning. You know, 3 of those guys are out for the year, so you won't get them back. But we are hoping that about 5 of them should start appearing pretty soon, we hope.
You've been without Danye for the first 2 games. Is he one of those that you hope to see back maybe this week or next?
Yeah, I feel good about him getting back probably sooner than the rest of them. Amador, you know, Vinley, JT, you know, when's all that going to happen? And you know, Tyler's been playing injured, but he's getting better each week. So that'll help us. So, but everybody's got injuries. I did laugh though, because I always have my guys look down at the other team in pregame just to see, and every week they go, they're all out there, and I'm like, how does that happen? Like, why is there never a time that the UTSA Roadrunners, you look out there and go, oh, all 22 of them are right back up again the next week? I don't know what that is, but it seems like it's something every year, especially with the O-line. It's unbelievable.
Jeff, Ronald Triplett and Asara Simon were telling us yesterday that the group's swagger, they said, still seems to be where it normally is. What have you made of the team's confidence and how they're carrying themselves this week?
Our defense bounced back tremendously yesterday and today. Our offense did not bounce back yesterday, to be very honest. But today they were as good as I've ever seen them. They were really paid attention to detail and got after it. Had a very spirited practice. You know, I think they got, you know, we're younger on that side of the ball. And there's enough older dudes on defense to kind of grab them by their ears and go, we got to get this right. Where offensively we're trying to get that. You know, we need Mekhi to get healthy because he's got the kind of, you know, he's got the skins on the wall to speak and people listen. You know, we need Oscar Cardenas to really step up that. He's got the skins on the wall. Vinley and Corey have been hurt all year. So 3 of your greatest leaders are not out there very much. JT being a great leader, not out there at all. So you got a bunch of young kids, trying to lead. And then I hate to even say all this stuff to you guys because it sounds like excuses. But you asked the question, so I feel like I owe it to y'all to be as honest as I can be without telling everybody everything in our locker room.
Has it been a good week to have Pound the Fist as the culture pillar? How have you kind of integrated that into the conversation?
That's the great thing about Pound the Fist. I know it's kind of silly, but it's all 5 of the culture pillars. You add them all up, and it's a mindset. So as a head coach, you can kind of pick any of the 5 you want to choose from to talk on during the week. But it is a mentality. It's a mindset. And, it's been a nice little fit. Excuse me.
You talked about kind of developing an identity on offense and defense as one of the things. Can that happen in practice, or you kind of have to see it?
The game's telling us a lot. Where we're really weak, where we're going to have to help somebody. The game tells you the most. And again, I understand from y'all's point of view, like how come you don't know that before the game? And it just takes time. And when all your guys are back, it's pretty easy. And when I've had that once, my second year. But most of the time, there's going to be transition. We're working on that, but we're figuring it out. Unfortunately, we've got a lot of mismatches this week, so there's not a lot of places to really go because they've done a wonderful job. They're very well coached, and they're just going to be tough to score points on. I think they've allowed 1 touchdown when their backups were out there. Is what I've been told.
Yeah, we didn't to that point. We didn't see any offensive triangle winners this past week. What do you hope to see from the offense against a stout defense like that?
Well, that's a really good question, JJ, because that is what we always hold ourselves to, and we did not do that last week. So you can score points and still not do what's right. You might have just got lucky and got a few big plays. I would hope we've got some guys that show up this week and get that. Because I don't punish people. Like, if we lose and you play well, it's always an oversimplification that, the Roadrunners quit. Oh, no, it might look like that. That's not the case. Did we play as hard as? No, we did not. We could play much harder. Quit's too strong of a word. Everybody played terrible. That's not correct. There were guys out there that played pretty good, honestly. There were just a lot of mistakes that cost us the game. So, I would hope there's more of those guys.
Jeff Quinn Ewers is one of the favorites for the Heisman at this early point in the season. What is it about him specifically that kind of makes him special?
Well, he's big. He's got a strong arm. He came from a great program in South Lake, so he's been under pressure his whole life. He's really gotten better. Obviously, Coach Dodge is a good friend of mine. So I know that Riley has thought the world of him for a long time. I just kind of know him through Riley and watching him play. So, I root for those kind of guys. I root for all Texas high school football players every week, except when they play the Roadrunners. And I have a lot of respect for Quinn and what he's come from and how he's developed.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Jeff was Jake.